Hello, Central is strong. I haven't been on this podcast for a little while now, but I'm back with another episode, with another message, and something to bring towards the world that's positive, something that somebody may need to hear out there. And in this podcast, I want to announce that the biggest thing is, especially with fentanyl overdoses and how depression is so high in this world today due to inflation and just natural life. I want to say, from me even overcoming certain things in my life and from my own experiences, drugs won't save you. Opening up will save you. Closer and closer and closer, the more you open up about your problems, the more you'll be saved from whatever's trying to tear you down. Drugs will only hurt you more than likely, and opening up and speaking up will save you. In this world, we are human beings. We got emotions, we got problems, we got point of views, we got perspectives, we got feelings. And sometimes we feel like people, no matter who we speak to or how much we speak to them, won't always understand what we're going through or how we feel or what we see. And in the result of that, when we feel lonely and we feel defeated, which is human nature, we all get those emotions at times, we run to drugs sometimes. I know people probably thinking weed isn't a drug. In a sense, yes, you're right. Weed isn't really a drug, but you must understand that sometimes when you obsessively smoke weed or anything, or vape tobacco, or smoke cigarettes, cigars, or anything that can be harmful to your body, it would probably be classified as a drug, because not only are you continuously doing it, you're probably hooked on it, and you're probably, I would say, addicted, and you don't even know it. And I've had friends and still got friends who do smoke, and they got shorter memory, or they develop like some disorder of heart, like a heart disorder, like they got palpitation issues and their heartbeats skip here and there, and like their heart is beating faster than what it's supposed to, and it requires more work for the heart to pump the blood in the body. And there are friends that I have that smoked and they lost weight. I have female friends who used to be extremely thick, and because they smoked so much weed or smoked so much whatever, they lost their thickness and they lost their shape and they lost their looks, and they used to look so healthy and so amazing, and all of that went away because they were smoking and they couldn't stop because they were addicted. And I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, because, hey, I used to smoke. I'm not perfect. And I'm not saying you're a bad person for smoking, or I'm not saying, oh, you're going to just be a loser because you smoke weed and you live your life the way you live it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you do these things addictively and not in moderation, it can harm you. And this is just for smoking. I'm going to get into the other drugs next with if you do that in moderation or not. That can definitely harm you, but I'm going to stick with this subject first. Smoking, period, can harm you if you don't do it in moderation. If you smoke every single day, eventually your lungs are going to dry out. Eventually your memory is going to be a lot shorter than what it normally is. Eventually your muscles it is proof that even muscles decline if you smoke obsessively. That's why I was talking about with the girls being thick and having shape and having curves and whatnot. They lost all their curves and thickness because they smoked all the time. And I feel like that it might have killed cells in their body. It might have structured their bones to be in a bad way, and it might have moved things inside of them that they don't know of because they done it so much. And not only that, I think smoking statistically mess with your eyesight. I think it actually makes your eyes a lot worse too. I don't have any resources right now as I speak to pull it up, but I think scientifically proven there's 12 to 15 things that decline if you smoke obsessively. And there are important things, And I also know that it makes you look older if you smoke obsessively too. Makes you look way older, and it messes with your looks for sure. Sometimes you can look at someone and tell if they smoke all the time or if they don't. And typically, it does harm you more than help you. That's the biggest thing I'm trying to bring. As if you're doing it obsessively. Now, if you're doing it once a month, twice a month, I don't really think you got much to worry about. And that's if you're smoking like a cigar or smoking a blunt, a joint, wherever you live. Certain states and certain areas and cities, it may not be legal, but cigars are obviously legal everywhere. But you know what I'm talking about as far as weed. But wherever you are and however you do it, I just want you to be safe. I want you to be mindful of what it can do to you and what harm it could cause. It might even cause legal issues. People do drug backgrounds, and when you go for a job, the last thing you want is to fail a drug test, because that might actually be on your record for a little while. That's also something that smoking, as far as weed, I would say, can cause harm in. And cigars, that can cause cancer. Cigarettes can cause cancer. Vaping can definitely cause cancers. And you don't want a cancer in your body. You don't want to get seizures. And you don't want to have sleep apnea and the things that can come with that cancer outside of that cancer. So that's also something I want you to be mindful of with vaping and smoking cigarettes. That can definitely do that. And I'm not for sure if smoking weed can do that, but I know cigarettes and cigars can for sure. I just wanted to throw that out there as far as the smoking goes, as far as drugs and smoking. Up next is psychedelics, okay? Please be mindful of how harmful psychedelics can be. Shrooms, acid, the stuff that hippies done in the 60s that people are doing now, that can also cause an effect. And getting high because you have life issues or because you feel alone isn't going to really help you for a long run. It might help for the short time being. Yes, that's why I was doing that back when I was doing it, because I felt better. But luckily I broke out of it sooner than later. But coming from someone who broke out of certain things like this, which I'm trying to make a testimony into the message at the same time, please don't fall in the line of doing psychedelics. I met people who done shrooms or something like that one time, and literally they're not the same anymore. They have like voices in their heads. They have, I think, a condition where their hands, they got arthritis, like the hands won't stop shaking, and they got to take pills. I met one person back 2 years ago in 2021. They done acid one time, and they got depersonalization disorder. If you don't know what that is, you should look it up. It's when you feel like you're in a false reality, and you're getting panic attacks, and you think you're living in a stimulation. It does a lot to your brain, and not just your brain. I think it messes with your blood. It makes your blood, I believe, flow a lot slower, and that can also mess with oxygen, because blood carries oxygen, and it'll make you breathe, I think, slower, and your reactiveness just in general would be weaker. You'll be reactive very slow to things that you should be reactive fast to, or that's at a normal pace. And I understand when you're young, you want to try things, you want to see how it really feels. You probably think that I'm just lying to you. You probably think that this message is literally just a way for you to listen to what I want you to do, and you probably think that this is all made up. But I'm telling you, I don't think I'm making this up. And actually, I know I'm not making this up. From my experience to somebody else, they probably tell you exactly the same thing. So this is more of a warning. Now, if you want to try this, once again, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. If you want to do it, I'm not going to stop you. No one's going to probably stop you. But we just want you to be aware of the consequences that could possibly occur if you do try drugs. And that's especially psychedelics. Psychedelics people probably can die from, and I want to go beyond psychedelics. If don't, no matter how hard things get, do not try heroin. Do not try fentanyl. Do not try those things, okay? Those, I don't even know if those are psychedelics or not. I just know they're drugs. Please don't do those. That will kill you. That's not fun at all. That's not something that I would think that you want to do a test with. Now, I can understand testing weed. I can understand testing a cigar. But psychedelics is something that I would definitely not consider testing. And something above that, heroin, fentanyl, PCP, please, just don't. I never did that stuff, but please don't. I've met people who done that. I watched videos on YouTube of people doing that stuff, and literally they got acne that probably won't go away. They got missing teeth, missing hair. Someone gouged their own eyeballs out because they were so high and they couldn't get it to stop, and it was just annoying and aggravating, and it messed with their brains. They didn't know how to help themselves. So take it from me, before you even think about doing that stuff, don't. There's other ways for you to get help, for you to feel happy, and for you to have a good time. Those things are not good for you at all. Not even trying one time. It probably would kill you the first time you try it. Unless you got a very strong immune system, it probably can take you out. I just want to throw that out there. Next is alternatives on things to help you outside of drugs. There's counseling. There are counseling centers. There are hotline text crisis centers that you can call and text whenever you're going through something. I'm pretty sure that you'll find friends. You probably got friends that are willing to talk to you whenever you need someone to talk to when you feel alone. There's the gym. You can journal. I'm journaling right now. I've been journaling every day this year, 2023, and it's been helping me maintain my emotions. I would also consider drinking at least 3 bottles of water a day. It helps you in many ways that you probably even think it will help you. It helps with your confidence. It helps you with your looks. It helps you with your emotions. At least 3 bottles of water a day can go a long way. I would rather for you to get addicted to drinking water, addicted to getting into the gym, addicted to talking to a counselor and strategizing ways to look for help and look for improvements in your life than get addicted to drugs. That would be the worst thing to get addicted to. And more likely, if you try one drug and it doesn't get you high enough because you've been doing it for so long, you might think about trying another drug that's even more advanced. And that's the thing. I will not do that. Because a lot of times trying a drug that's not as strong the first time, well, not the first time, but not as strong as many times as you tried it, it would probably make you want to try something else. And that's where a lot of things will fall out of line. And everything would just start falling apart before you have a chance to even realize what's going on. So I want you to be aware of that as well. And there's too many alternatives. There are too many things out there for you to do, for you to live for, to try drugs and let drugs ruin your life. Drinking as well. If you obsessively drink, that will ruin your life. That can mess with your looks. I know people who drunk and they got pneumonia because they drank so much alcohol, because it just burned their chest and it got into their lungs somehow. There's just things of too much of anything that's a substance that's not good can harm you or potentially kill you. And that's drinking too. And yes, drinking is legal in every single state, let alone every country. But I would not recommend drinking 10 bottles of wine. Not 10 bottles of wine, that's crazy. But 2 bottles of wine a day. Or 2 bottles of beer a day. You're literally setting yourself up for failure when you do that. No matter how young you are, how you think your body can recover from that, because most young people say, I'm young, I can handle it, my body can recover from doing these things. As much as you probably think that, your brain may not recover from it. And if your brain is not functioning well, your whole body's not going to function well. So I just want you to always remember that when you say that to yourself, because that's what I tried to say to myself. And luckily I broke out of it because I noticed certain things that was happening in my life was harming me, and I slowed down and broke away from things like that. I haven't drunk alcohol in a very long time, just on my way doing it for 2 months. And when I drink alcohol, it's only like 2 beers or something small. But I'm trying to break out of alcohol entirely when I don't drink at all anymore. And I don't vape, I don't smoke, I don't do anything outside of drinking every blue moon. But that's okay. Drinking in moderation is healthy. That's, I think, one of the least harmful things that you can do if you do it in moderation. Only in moderation. But that's my intake on drugs and how harmful it can be. There's probably many stories on YouTube that you can look at and watch and hear people's testimonies and learn from them too. That probably got more insight on this than what I do. But I hope this helps somebody. And once again, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to let someone know how you feel. I feel like it's healthier to let somebody know that you feel a certain way and talk to somebody face to face than get high in another room, in another area, forgetting about your issue, not confronting a person who caused the issue, and just say, oh, well, they're not going to care. I want to get high. That's what a lot of people feel like, when they feel like it's better to just get high than literally talk about their problems. And I'm here to tell you that's probably not the healthiest way to solve your issue or to get over the issue. I feel like talking to someone, especially the person who you feel like that caused that issue, will be significantly more helpful and more stress relieving than doing a drug and thinking about that issue without even addressing it over and over and over again. While you're replaying in your head, instead of just telling that person how you feel or telling a counselor, someone you feel like that cares, you're just letting it replay in your mind while you're abusing your body with substances that probably won't help you. I'm not trying to sound negative, but that's what reality is when you do that. And it'd probably be a lot more impactful and productive if you just speak to that person and tell them, I don't like what you're doing, I don't like this, and can we work on this, can we fix this, and can we make this better? All it takes is a speaking up. People get on drugs because they lost a fight and they can't get over the fact that they got beat up somehow, or they lost a fight. Or people get on drugs because they lost a relative, or they get on drugs because of something that somebody said. And all it takes is for you to speak up, to stand up, and to let someone know how you feel. And you don't have to do it boldly in front of people in a public setting, but you can just pull someone on the side and privately speak to them. You can find them on Facebook if you have to, or Instagram, and message them. Let your emotions out. And please do it without doing drugs. Because that's how a lot of people let their emotions out, and it's actually harming them more than helping them. Speak to the bullies. Speak to that person that you feel like needs to hear what you got to say, because it's in your mind all the time. That image, that thing that you want to get over of so badly. And all it takes is speaking to them. Don't wait for someone to speak to you. If it's on your mind, you must go to them first, because they probably don't even know what they said or done that's harming you, or that harms you. So that's my intake on this. And once again, there's a gym, there's journaling, there's other alternatives outside of drugs to help you with your issues. And if you want to have fun, I feel like you'll have a more fun time knowing what's going on around you because you didn't do a drug, and knowing that you're okay, and knowing that you have control of your body, your mind, your not really too much of your surroundings, but your body, your mind, and your awareness around your surroundings, than being high, scared for your life, your body's being malfunctioned, your lungs aren't breathing as strong as they normally do, your mind is not as strong as it normally is, you're shaking, everything's going wrong within you because you've done a drug, and you probably didn't really speak to anybody before trying it, and you think, hey, I'm with my friends, they'll have my back if I'm high. Yes, they have your back externally, but they don't have your back internally. And that's what a lot of people miss when they think that. They miss that big, important point of having your own self inside of you. People can help you externally, but only you can help yourself internally. And drugs will really damage you internally if you really, really think about it. But that's all I got to say. I hope this helps somebody. I hope this, is some type of knowledge, wisdom to help someone with their journey, because that's the point of making this podcast. Thank you. Have a blessed day. There's other things out there. I will also recommend college, school, some type of academy online, or even face-to-face. That's research better alternatives than drugs. And there will be a whole list of things out there for you to see that can help you in your life way better than what a drug can. Thank you. Have a blessed day, a blessed week, a blessed month. Stay strong and stay you. Goodbye.